it's Livy Logston, and today I'll be reading Chapter 9, Episode 9, the final battle, Part 1. This episode, along with the episode next to it, are two-parters, Part 1, Part 2, and these episodes, they kind of they take inspiration from Winx Club in the way that it's like the final episodes of Winx Club Season 3. So that's where they take inspiration from. Valtor's ultimate end, everything leading up to then. My dad just texted me something. Texted me a picture of when I was a kid, saying, "Where did this girl go?" My father is. Anyway. Not really. Hungry. Anyway, sorry about that. So, yeah. That is the basic gist. If you guys want to see the video that has clips from the live action Winx Club, click the link in the description down below. Yeah, that's basically it. Let's jump straight into this. At Althea, Timmy is checking the dark hallways, making sure everything is safe while he is on the phone with Silva. Didn't her Mistress Darling say the intel was solid? Questioned Timmy as he went back and forth with the flashlight. I'm not arguing with that, but it is possible somebody tipped the blood witches off. So, just keep an eye out. Alright, Silva. Will do, although it might be a little bit harder with the power outage, but don't worry, we'll get this figured out, assured Timmy as he hangs up the phone. Meanwhile, scrapers start attacking fairies in the school. Blood witches start to take control of the specialists. Sky and Helly are able to avoid mind control. Musa and Flora are returning to the suite. They find the door slightly cracked. Musa goes first, but Flora stops her, saying, "I have magic, you don't." Flora walks in and looks around. Hello? Valtor uses his lightning ability to make Flora fall to the ground. Valtor looks at her on the ground and asks, "You all alone?" "No, fiery friend." Check the hole. Beatrix does so and finds Musa hiding. "Anyone?" "No. It looks like the little flower girl is all alone," lied Beatrix. "Good," said Valtor as he got ready to take Flora away. "Go," whispered Beatrix to Musa, who does as she says. Back at the warehouse, Silva tries to come up with a plan. The specialists and Bloom listen in. Bloom helps by giving intel about what's happening at the school. The attack was over in about 20 minutes. I don't know how many blood witches were with them, but it was enough to take over every specialist there was last night. They knew we were making a move on their hideout. And now we drink the last of the blood witch antidote. That's great. It's gonna keep popping up until I actually check the text message. And we drink the last of the blood witch antidote. Great, said Riven sarcastically. They took over every specialist? Questioned Brennan. Not Sky and Helia. They're with Musa hiding somewhere in the school, but fairies don't have it much better. Valtor basically brought an army of scrapers to take them down. Are they all drained? Not yet. They're being held under the school, taken to him one by one, and then brought back. We're thinking that he can't handle a lot of magic at once, so there's still some time to save some of them. That's good. Good intel. Well, it's all Musa. She's hiding in the school. She was able to avoid detection, but Flora wasn't so lucky, explained Bloom. Well, looks like we got our work cut out for us. A frontal assault is suicide. A covert strike upgrades our odds, but not by much. And we'll be fighting friends, which sucks. We've got non-lethal weapons should you want them. Once we disable them and neutralize the threat, the Blood Witches will be easy to clear. Then we free the fairies. And I'm going after Valtor. Let's gear up, ordered Silva, and then he turns to Bloom and says, Bloom, walk with me. Silva leads Bloom away from everyone to talk in private while the specialists prepare for battle. In the warehouse, Stella, Aisha, and Tekna talk amongst themselves. Stella, who had been waiting for Beatrix to respond to her text, says, It's bad enough that every time Beatrix makes an improvement, she turns around and does something worse. I just can't believe she would work with Valtor. I can't get my head around it. There must be a reason for it. Maybe Valtor is just really persuasive, suggested Tekna. Or maybe the people we care about just suck, replied Stella as she finally turns off her phone and slams it face down. Look, I know we can't go in there because of the scrapers, but I don't know how much longer I can just sit around while Flora's trapped. Trust me, we all want to participate in rescuing Flora and the other fairies, but in situations like these, we have to let the professionals do their job, pointed out Tekna. Meanwhile, outside, Silva and Bloom talk privately about the situation of her being ready or not. Are you sure you're up for this? It's okay to say no. I mean, is it though? Even before he broke into the school, I was only powerful enough to stop him. I was the only one powerful enough to stop him. No, Bloom, as she turns to face Silva. He wants the dragon flame. He said if I gave it to him, he wouldn't have to keep stealing magic from fairies. Yes, but then he have the dragon flame. He's done all this without it. Imagine what he could do with it. Bloom, if anyone should have that power, it should be you. I hope you're right about that. I know I am. Yeah, I have to fight. We have to fight, corrected Silva. Right. I'm going to check on the girls, said Bloom as she leaves the area. As Bloom walks into the warehouse, Aisha says, We can't just sit and do nothing while you go in there and take on Valtor all by yourself. Well, it's Silva's plan, not mine. What if you accidentally set someone on fire? If I was there, I could put them out, replied Aisha. Well, I'll be in the woods nearby waiting for everyone to clear out. Okay, well, you're forgetting the obvious part where I make you invisible so you can sneak inside while scrapers wait to steal your magic. What, and they won't steal yours? No, I'll be transforming, so I'll be faster and stronger. Okay, what about us transforming? We know how to do it. You haven't transformed before, Tekna. Okay, well, what about Stella and I? Darling taught us all how to transform, and we did it once before, pointed out Aisha. And have you done it since then? Oh, we haven't tried. We can try, encouraged Tekna. That was not British. Well, we haven't tried. We can try, encouraged Tekna. You really think we have time for that right now? You don't have to do this alone. Yes, I do. 'Cause none of you have this, pointed at Bloom as she showed off her dragon flame power in her hand. And this is the only thing that's going to take Valtor down. And I'm the only one who has it. Look, I love you all. I do. Bloom makes her fire go away in her hand and suddenly has some type of vision that causes her to fall. That causes her to be off balance. Are you okay? Asked Tekna. Bloom? Questioned Aisha as images flash through Bloom's mind that causes her to fall to the ground and pass out. Her friends watch to her side. Silva walks in as they're helping. What happened? Asked Silva as he walked into the room. She passed out, answered Aisha. I think I probably just need some water, assured Bloom. Okay, well, let's get her up, ordered Silva as he helped her into a chair. Here, sit down. I'm fine. I'm ready to go. Are you sure? Yes. Silva hesitated for a moment and sighed, saying, Well, we won't need you until we've cleared out the control specialist, so just sit tight. Silva leaves Bloom alone to rest with her friends. Meanwhile, in the Winx suite, Musa, Helia, and Sky talk about ways they can help or rescue the fairies. We can't just sit around here and do nothing. There has to be something we can do to help. I mean, Timmy is out there all by himself. He's probably mind controlled by now. Well, can we help the fairies somehow? Asked Sky. How? Do you have a plan? No, but there has to be a way, right? The best thing for us to do right now is to wait for Silva and the other specialists to come to rescue. Okay, well, I'm going to scout around and try to find an escape so we can help them. Okay, fine, but be careful, Sky, said Helia. I will, assured Sky as he left the suite. He looked all around the school for an exit that wasn't being guarded. He did his best to avoid detection. At one point, he sees Valtor and Beatrix talking. Sky decides to listen in on their conversation. Valtor had just come out of a room where the scrapers were putting fairy abilities inside of him when Beatrix asked, Sorry to interrupt whatever this is, but at the risk of being a dead, curious cat, what exactly is your endgame here? I think we both know those answers weren't part of the deal. Fair enough. However, if we are taking the deal literally, my part is over. You have the school, you have the fairies, you have everything you want. Valtor pulls out a piece of paper and hands it over. Beatrix takes it from him. None of you have everything you want. That paper tells you where Darcy is and where your family is. Anything else? No, answered Beatrix. Valtor walks away and says to another Blowpitch, Keep looking for our leverage. Yes, sir. And he says to everyone, I'm going to the sanctum. Give me 20, then bring one back. Then bring another one. Wait, sir, before you leave, our spy has reported back. The one you sent to watch the Alpheans at that warehouse. He says they're planning a sneak attack, said one of the Blood Witches. Good information. Tell our specialist to prepare for them, replied Valtor as he leaves the room. Still there, Beatrix notices Valtor's book of plans being left unguarded. On the other hand, Sky decides to leave the area and continue searching for a way out. Meanwhile, Flora tries to see if there is a way out of the room that the fairies are being kept in, but she finds nothing. All she hears is scrapers and screams, which tells her she should stay put and wait for some type of rescue. Outside the school, the specialists get ready to attack. The Blood Witches are using the controlled specialists to patrol the grounds, so they don't risk themselves, pointed out Riven to Silva as he surveyed the area with his binoculars. Well, if word gets out, we're making an attack, we lose our advantage. So we're going to spread out, going to take them out one by one, silently, right? Said Silva as all the specialists nod their heads. Let's move. Specialists climb up the wall using vines that had grown over the years. Once over, they attack any specialist they see. In the Winx suite, Musa makes a call to Bloom, who brings the phone over to everyone else. I think the Blood Witches know about the attack, said Musa worriedly. Are you sure? Asked Bloom. Musa watched the hundreds of controlled specialists move out of school. No, but there are a ton of specialists headed outside. Well, if they do, Silva won't be able to break through. He has to. We have to clear out the specialists so I can go in, insisted Bloom. And you haven't seen Flora? No. I know where they got her, but no news is good news. There's still time. And if specialists fail, we'll break her ourselves. What about Beatrix? One last appeal? Yeah, I can try again, assured Stella. I think Beatrix left, interjected Musa. Okay, so basically Flora's screwed. That's what everyone's saying. She's going to lose her magic and there's nothing we can do about it, assumed Aisha. No, nothing, replied Musa, trying to help everyone remain hopeful as she noticed her fighting stick near her bed. I'll text you later. She hangs up the phone and leaves the suite with the stick. Back at the warehouse, Aisha leaves the room upset and Techno follows after her to comfort her. Stella stays with Bloom. I'm not one to diss art therapy, but want to share with the class? Asked Stella as she noticed Bloom drawing a black circle with many scribbles filled inside of it. On the paper on the paper there was what looked like lightning wrapped around the circle. Earlier this morning I didn't pass out from exhaustion. When I summoned my dragon flame, I saw Valtor, and I saw this, answered Bloom as she tapped her pen on the drawing. What is that? She answers with a shaky voice, saying, I don't know, some kind of vision or premonition. I know it definitely has something to do with my magic, but Stella cuts her off. Hey, Bloom. She takes away the pen from her and continues, it's okay. I'm scared. I'm just scared, Stella. I mean, ever since that day with Farah, I'm just scared. I know I have to be strong, but no, you don't. It doesn't make you any less of a hero to let your friends take care of you. It's the toughest thing I had to learn too. We are in this together, assured Stella, as she pulled Bloom in for a hug. Meanwhile, where Flora is being kept, she digs in a passed-out person's pocket to see if they have some kind of weapon. Luckily, she finds a pen. Blow witches enter the room to take in their fairy. Valtor wants another one. I always hated getting picked last, said Flora as she... said Flora as one of the blow witches grabbed her arm. Meanwhile, the specialists fight the controlled specialists. Sky sees them fighting and joins in. Riven and Brandon face off against Timmy and are able to knock him out. Suddenly, the specialists get overwhelmed and realize they need to fall back. Riven and Brandon help Timmy to a medic. Sky follows after them. All the specialists retreat and meet up with Saul behind the school to discuss what happens next. Sky, nice of you to join us, greeted Saul. Yeah, I had to take care of some delinquents, he joked as he looked in Brandon and Riven's direction. Well, it's good to have you, said Saul as he turns around to talk to everyone. Right, listen up, the blow witches were waiting for us, so we've got to fall back. We're going to stay here and regroup until the Solarians come. But Musa's still in there, so is Flora and Helia, interjected Riven worriedly. Yeah, he's right, we should go now. It's not up for debate, okay? So let's keep ourselves busy until then. Move out, ordered Saul. Even though they weren't happy about it, the specialists did as they were told. Saul turns to Sky and continues. You need to get back to the warehouse now. What? I can fight, you know I can. Without Paladin's antidote, you are sitting duck, and the school is crawling with blood witches. Explained Saul. And so Sky did as he was told. Back in the school hallways, Musa makes a rescue attempt. She fights one of the blow witches in front with her stick. She lands many hits, but the guy seemed pretty skilled. He knocks Musa to the ground and separates her from her stick. Musa kicks him to the ground and uses her legs to jump back up on her feet, then grabs her stick and knocks him out. The blow witch who is holding Musa threatens to kill her. If Musa doesn't surrender, Musa hesitates, but Flora uses the pen to stab the blow witch's hand. Musa then knocks him out as well. Good skills. Nabite, still got your magic? I do, and I think we can use that to our advantage, said Flora. Okay, let's move, said Musa. She and Musa hurry back to the suite where Helia waits there patiently for them. Sorry. It's uncomfortable sitting here sometimes. Meanwhile, in the sanctum, Valtor waits patiently for the fairy. I don't think he's waiting patiently for a fairy. Griffin and Icy are in the room with him. Your plan is working. You always were a good little mommy's boy, taunted Griffin. This isn't just for my mothers, it's for all witches, replied Valtor. Keep telling yourself that. What do you want, Griffin? Simple, my freedom, but you're never going to give that to me. No. I would rather watch you burn for the crimes you commit against my family. Against your family? And that's a big excitement, considering the fact that I am technically part of your family. You are not part of my family. Griffin looked in Icy's direction and asked, How can you stand for this, Icy? How are you okay with fighting against your sisters? They're not my sisters, replied Icy coldly. A blood witch walks in and says, Sir, we found your leverage. Good, leave, said Valtor to the blood witch. Valtor turns to Icy. Go get Bloom. Yes, sir. As she leaves, Griffin says one more thing. This isn't you, Icy. You're better than this. And those girls will always be more of your family than he will ever be. They're your cousins. Doesn't matter, said Icy as she teleported away, leaving Griffin alone with Valtor. You got a big mouth, pointed out Valtor as he then turned to another blood witch in the room. Take her outside and kill her. Yes, sir. The blood witch took a hold of Griffin and did as he was told. Once outside, he put Griffin on her knees. He got ready to slice her head off. Then suddenly Beatrix and Darcy come out of the bushes and kill him instead, saving Griffin. Darcy and Beatrix agreed to go their separate ways. After that, Beatrix leaves to go tell Stella Valtor's plan, while Darcy and Griffin find somewhere safe to hide out until all this blows over. Back at the warehouse, Bloom draws in her room. Suddenly, she gets a call from Sky. She answers it saying, There you are, how are you? Good, better when I see you. How are you doing? I mean, all things considered, I'm okay. Musa saved Flora from the scrapers. That's great. Yeah, except now they're stuck in there. So I guess we just have to wait for the Solarians. Why do I feel like there's a butt coming? No, I'm happy you're safe. I'm happy Flora's safe. I just don't know. I feel like this isn't over. 'Cause it isn't. Valtor's going to get what he wants, and you're going to help him, replied Sky like he was being controlled, which he was, by Valtor. Sky, what's going on? Asked Bloom, concerned, as Valtor takes the phone from Sky and continues the conversation. Go outside, now. Valtor, quietly. He ordered Bloom, and she did so. Once outside, she found Icy waiting there for her. What do you want? Oh, I think you know. And by the way, if you tell anyone, Sky dies. If anything happens to Icy, Sky dies. If you try to fight me, well, you get where I'm going. Drop your phone. I'll see you soon, said Valtor as he ended the phone call and continues to control Sky to follow him. Meanwhile, Bloom does as she has been told and lets Icy take her to see Valtor. Back in the school in the Winx suite, Flora's brewing some kind of concoction. Musa and Helia try to help her the best they can, even though they had no idea what she was doing. Okay, I won't pretend I understand your plan completely, but here's what we found, said Musa as she and Helia set down some herbs. And is there any other secret herb stash that you don't know about? No, I do not know, but you know who would? The person whose drawers I've been rummaging through. Okay, never mind, this is fine. Why are we being so secretive? They know we're trying to take out the scrapers. Why hide the details? They have their hands full. I don't want to distract them. Besides, I've got this, assured Flora, as she used her powers to help her with the herbs. You know they're going to keep checking on you until Musa stops talking because she gets a notification on her phone. She checks it and then tells Flora and Helia what's been texted to her. Sky and Bloom are missing. They all had worried looks on their face. In the greenhouse of Althea, Icy returns with Bloom. In the woods, unaware where Bloom and Sky truly are, Stella searches for them. Bloom, Sky, if you two are making out somewhere, I will absolutely... Stella doesn't finish her sentence when she hears Twig snaps. Relax, it's just me. Just you. You're the villain. Labels, would the villain do this? She pulls out Valtor's book, Blood Witch book, that had all his plans in. I did some snooping and found out what Valtor's planning. He's obsessed with making witches be feared. He found a way. He's going to open a portal to the realm of darkness to free his mothers, an ancient evil. Thing is, last time they were here, they nearly destroyed the Pharaoh. Valtor either didn't read the fine print or he doesn't care. Bloom had a vision of a portal when she used her dragon flame. A conduit to the realm of darkness. Baltor needs the dragon flame to open it, so whatever she does, tell Bloom to sit tight. What does that look? Bloom's missing, along with Sky. He wanted leverage. Baltor's using Sky's leverage. You have to stop her. If that's true. Are you kidding me? Of course it is. You have to stop her. Once the conduit is open, the only way it can close is from the other side. Sky's life is not worth more than every other life in the fairy world. I'm trying to help, but you have to help yourself. Beatrix hands the book to Stella. She takes it and then asks, you really think you can play both sides, don't you? Save music, give us some intel, and that'll make up for the fact that you betrayed every fairy at Althea. I trusted you. I cannot believe you teamed up with Baltor. You said it yourself, sometimes you have to play the game. Don't. This is not the same. You're right, it's not. If you don't play the game, Daddy doesn't talk to you. If I don't, I lose everything. Do you know what happens then? No? Neither do I. Beatrix, I told you I was going to do whatever it took to survive. Congratulations, you survived, said Stella as she got ready to leave, turning her back to Beatrix. Beatrix stopped her by saying, I know who my family is. I didn't know that before. I didn't know anything about my past, so I made a deal. I help him if he told me where my family was. He gave me Darcy back and told me where I could find my father. I have no one, Stella. No one in the entire world, said Stella. Stella turns around to say, you had me. Now if you'll excuse me, I have to go back to searching for my friends. Stella leaves Beatrix alone to think about what she's done. Meanwhile, back at the school, Icy leads Bloom to Baltor as they walk through the hallways. Bloom tries to talk Icy out of what she's doing. It's not too late to do the right thing. What does that mean, the right thing? What does that mean, the right thing? You could have given the dragon flame weeks ago. Who's to say that wasn't the right thing? And he's the one who's stealing magic from fairies. Icy turns around and firmly says, fairies are the one who killed the blood witches at Astrodel. I had a family there, Bloom. A mom who loved me. Fairies took that all away. I'm just saying all of this is being done for the right reasons. Revenge is never the answer. Maybe not to you. Okay, fine. But Darcy and Beatrix loved you like a sister. And you turned your back on them. You left them. So you don't get to be on this moral high ground, said Bloom passionately as she just stares at Icy. I swear if Baltor didn't have Sky right now. Baltor steps in front and cuts off Bloom to assure her, luckily, I do have Sky. He looks towards Icy. Why don't you wait outside, Isabel? Icy leaves Bloom alone with Baltor. She walks closer to him, furious. Where is he? I want to see him. Baltor leads her out to an open area of the room. He looks up, and Bloom turns around to see Sky hanging from a banister, vines wrapped around him. It's a bit over the top, I know, but it gets the point across. Bloom tries to move closer to Sky, but Baltor stops her. Careful, no. He makes the vine begin to choke Sky. Okay, fine. Concerned, said Bloom, concerned, as Baltor stops the choking. Fine. You want the dragon flame? It's yours. You can have it. Do you need a scraper to feed it? To feed on my magic? No, the dragon flame will fry it in a second. Luckily, I found this. Now you know how these work, right? You channel dragon flame into it, and I channel it into me. Once I have it, Sky goes free. Bloom, without hesitation, blasts her dragon flame into the crystal. Meanwhile, in the woods, Darcy and Griffin near a safe haven. Down there is a village that will provide protection for us, said Darcy to Griffin as she points to the village. Wait, Darcy, before we go there, there's something I have to tell you. Honestly, Griffin, I don't want to hear any of your mess. You grown up so much, that's why I must tell you this. Yeah, I have grown up. I'm building a life for myself. I have plans and a future and things that I want, and none of those things involve whatever mess you're about to throw at me now. Okay? None of them. You are strong-willed and stubborn. What do you so desperately want to say, Griffin? I lied before. I did know your mother, and Stormy's, and Icy's. Why didn't you tell us? All we ever wanted to know. Because Icy already knew hers. I didn't know if Stormy's mother was still alive. I knew her father was, but I had no idea where he was. And I thought that if I told you yours, that you would never look at me the same way again. How would I look at you? I thought you would look at me like I was a failed mother. You're my mother? But how? You, Stormy, and Icy were the first 3 witches that I had for the school. 9 months after I left Valtor, I gave birth to you. And then I grabbed Icy and Stormy. I grabbed y'all first because I wanted you to grow up like sisters. Because in all honesty, you were related biologically. You 3 were cousins. Wait, is Valtor my dad? And how am I cousins with them? Yes, he is your dad. Icy's mother was his older sister, and Stormy's father was his younger brother, answered Griffin. Why didn't you tell me sooner? All my life I wanted to know who my mother was, and now I found out she's been right in front of me this whole time, and didn't even tell me? Darcy's stress touches her forehead, trying to comprehend everything she was just told. She breathes and then continues. I'm going to get you to that village, but then I never want to see you again. After that, Darcy turns around and walked quickly, not wanting to hear another word from Griffin, who followed behind her. After they arrive at the village, Darcy gets ready to leave, but Griffin stops her before leaving. Where are you going? Back to Stormy. She needs me more than you do, answered Darcy firmly, with her back turned to Griffin. You can't change my mind about this. I know that, but I just want you to be safe. I will be, far away from you, replied Darcy as she left the village. Elsewhere behind the school in the woods, Stella, Aisha, and Tekna have come to specialists to alert them what Beatrix had told Stella moments before. The Solarians are on the way. Will they prepare to fight an ancient evil because we're too scared? If that's what we have to do. You can't be serious. We are outnumbered, warned Saul firmly, who didn't want to send soldiers into a battle that they might lose. Tekna glances at Timmy, who was passed out, and then she proceeds to speak up, giving words of encouragement. I don't care. Luma's inside, risking everything to save Sky. Musa's got no magic and virtually no fighting ability. She's still there. Flora spent last night in a basement surrounded by monsters, and what is she doing? Cooking up a plan to kill those monsters. These are my friends. They're our friends, and they need us. So no, I'm not going to wait for the Solarians. I'm not going to wait outside my house for somebody else to save it. This is what Headmistress Dowling would have wanted. All of us, Alpheans, fighting together. Saul breathes deeply and then says, Who am I to argue with fair, huh? No magic till we clear the scrapers, alright? All the fairies nod their heads in agreement. Let's gear up. The specialists cheer and follow Silva's orders. Stella, Aisha, and Tekna get ready. Naboo walks over to Aisha. Aisha, before we go into battle, I have to tell you something. I don't really have time to deal with your problems, Naboo. We have to get ready for battle. I know, but I need to tell you this. Fine, what is it? I talked to your dad a couple days ago and asked him to remove our engagement. So we're no longer engaged, Aisha. You're free. Why did you do that? Because you were right. You should be free to fall in love on your own terms with whoever you want. Aisha breathed, relieved that a weight had been lifted off her shoulders. I appreciate that you... What did I just do? Sorry. I appreciate that you did that, but this doesn't change the fact that you lied to me. I know. I hope you'll give me another chance. I hope you will forgive me. I know this doesn't make it right, but everything I did was because I do care about you, and I want to be with you, Aisha. I know, and I'll think about it, assured Aisha as she walked away from Naboo. Riven walks up to Naboo and hands him his sword. Ready, mate? He breathes in and replies, "Yeah, I think so." Once all the specialists are ready, they launch into battle against the controlled specials. Swords clash, so everyone is reminded that this is war. Okay, and I will be reading chapter 10 tomorrow. That is all I have for you guys today. Bye!